Let's head up the 316 and go between the hedges. This is Rick and John's Dog Walk.
On Sports Radio 92.9, The Game.
Go, Dog!
All right, here we go from the Kia Studios. Happy holidays, everybody. We are inching towards Christmas. We are in holiday party season, and we'll get to that in a moment.
When do your boys get here? They get here next week?
Next Thursday.
Okay,
Next
awesome.
Thursday, they drop here
I know
in
you're
Atlanta.
excited.
I'm pumped, man. Can't wait to see them. Just hug them for about 5 straight hours.
What do you get for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that?
No, it's not that long. About, I don't know, 10 days?
Okay.
Something like that. Speaking of 10, you guys got the over-under on Kamla cocktails?
I'm going to put the
Conti
how
party?
many you make?
How many I'm asked to make? Because I'll make myself probably 5.
Do you say
4 or 5.
over-under of 8? Does that sound like a good number of what you're asked to? Not what you ask people to make, what you are asked to make. That's what I'm looking at.
He also has Rick will come up to you and say, "Hey, I'm going to make you one."
Not this year. I'm not doing that. That's the difference. This year I'm not doing that. You have to come to me. Hey, could I have a Kamla cocktail? Sure, I will make you a Kamla cocktail.
Before we get to our party props, it is the Dog Walk in. We mentioned a lot of national people think this is going to be a cakewalk for Georgia. I have to go get the pulse of the team because every time that I've heard it's a cakewalk this year, the Dogs have lost. All once to LSU and once last year.
Who said LSU was going to be a cakewalk?
A balding guy back there. He
Our
said
president?
He thought that was going to be a win for Georgia.
Mr. Doop.
He also said last year
Did he say cakewalk,
No,
though?
I mean, I trumped it up a little bit. He said he felt very confident. And the Auburn game last year, he felt very confident. So Mark Owens, University of Texas, Sugar Bowl, how you feeling?
Can't look past a long.
Don't say very confident.
Can't look past Bourbon Street more than anything.
Well, that is true. That is true. Sugar Bowl lends its own type of problems. A week in New Orleans, Bourbon Street, a lot of temptation.
What is the point spread on the Georgia-Texas game?
11.5.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. It's a big number.
Really?
It might even be higher than that. I think, give me 1 second. I'm right here. Georgia is, where the hell is that game at? Why can I not find that one? Oh, there it is. 11.5. Exactly. I was spot on. So, Mark Slabaugh thinks the Dogs cover. Bill Bender, our buddy, says...
he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't?
No, he thinks Texas cover. Mark Slabaugh of ESPN's predicting 38-28, Dogs over Texas.
But that's a pretty breezy win.
I could see that. But so there's two perceptions of it. Like, is that a good, comfy win for Georgia, or is 10 points a meat grinder? To me, that's a meat grinder. If it's 38-28, that's a play here, a play there.
It depends on how it's 38. If it's 38-21 and Texas gets a late touchdown to make it 28, that could go either way. Now, if it's, conversely, if it's 31-28 and Georgia gets a late touchdown, Bill Bender has it 38-24 Georgia.
Aha.
A lot of people are thinking this will be put up some numbers on this Texas defense.
Well, what do we know about SEC teams that suffer grave disappointment late in their season and then stroll into a bowl game?
According to their fans, they're not motivated to be there.
I mean, that is absolutely possible for the Dogs just to not have their best fastball in that bowl game against Texas. Would that surprise a single person on planet Earth?
No.
Now, what we're used to is Georgia going out and kicking butt, running the ball, from with the back shoulder throws, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's going to be a hell of a bowl game, John. It is outside of the Final Four. The Ohio State-Washington game and the Georgia-Texas game are the two bowl games that I'm sitting down with popcorn, with a beer, and just loving it and savoring it. I actually like Texas to cover the 11.5-point spread. I would take the points in that scenario. Look, Texas's offense is awesome. It's not Oklahoma awesome.
Right.
Ellinger is a hell of a quarterback. He's going to run downhill on you all day long. They have 2 NFL wide receivers and Lil Jordan Humphrey, and more importantly to me, Colin Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Colin Johnson is Mike Evans 2.0. Long, fast, goes up in high points the ball. He is an awesome NFL prospect, and these guys are going to be looking to really make a statement against an SEC team. John, I am not worried about Texas bringing heavy metal to this game one little bit. I am slightly worried about how much heavy metal Georgia brings to this game. I'll take Texas plus the points.
Think about this one. This is the biggest bowl game Texas has played in since the national championship game against Alabama all the way back in 2009. Mac Brown was still the coach. Colt McCoy, if he doesn't get injured, a lot of people think Texas wins that football game. They had to go to Garrett Gilbert or Gilbert Grayson or whatever the hell his name is, a quarterback that wasn't very good and didn't get the job done. That's how that would have played out. When you look at Texas, though, They don't do anything particularly well. They're kind of middle of the road. They stink running the football, only about 151 yards a game, 93rd in the country. They pass it fairly well. They're 33rd, 264, 55th total offense. Okay, they're all right. Defense, decent against the run, 135 yards a game. They're 114th in the country against the pass. Now, part of that is you play in the Big 12 and teams are slinging it everywhere, but they're 69th on defense. So it's not like Texas, and Texas, a lot of it this year, they've lived off of obviously a huge win against Oklahoma. But other than that, they've been a decent football team. They haven't been great. Lost to Okie State, lost a close one to West Virginia, lost a second time to Oklahoma, and then the inexplicable loss to start the year when they lost to Maryland.
I mean, this may blow up in my face because when you look at conferences, a bad boy in the SEC should beat and or house a what would you call them? A solid team from the Big 12.
They're an upper echelon Big 12. I mean, they're in the Big 12 championship game.
SEC versus Big 12 should be, okay, Georgia's going to win this game by 2 touchdowns or 17 or whatever. There's some little chip in the back of my brain saying, not so fast, my friend.
Here's the difference between, I know a lot of people say, well, wait a second, Big 12 last year, Oklahoma marched up and down the field on Georgia. Texas is nowhere in the same stratosphere.
Who was their quarterback?
Baker Mayfield. And they had Rodney Anderson and Marquise Brown and CeeDee Lamb and all these stars. And Texas is not in the same stratosphere as Oklahoma is offensively. Now, I think they are better than Oklahoma was defensively. Georgia had no problem moving the football.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, Oklahoma, they give a cursory glance when it comes to playing some defense.
How is Oklahoma going to contain Alabama at all? How? I don't understand it. Like, book 50 points for Alabama. Book it. Take it to the bank.
I think the way they contain them, they're going to have to come up with a couple of turnovers. You got to do the same thing Georgia did. You got to hit Tua. Get him off his spot, make him feel uncomfortable. Oklahoma doesn't do a great job of it.
No, they don't. They don't have the personnel to do that.
You know how they're gonna keep Alabama from scoring points? By scoring more points.
Yeah, keep the ball.
They have to keep the ball and score, and that means they got to run it with Kennedy Brooks, and they got to be able to get Kyler Murray outside running around.